this is an awesome video because this is a nutrition video. If you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to get some of that body fat off, typically you're gonna have to dial in your nutrition. Now, when it comes to nutrition, there's a lot of varying opinions out there, and a lot of those are wrong, especially for men over 40. And that's who I'm targeting with this video. Men over 40, whether you're 40, 50, 60, 70s, even in your 80s, you need to do things different when it comes to your nutrition plan. So I'm gonna give you some weight loss tips, again, specifically for men over 40. Then I'm gonna leave you with an easy to follow diet and nutrition plan, because it does not need to be complicated. Yes, you need to do things differently, but you don't have to overcomplicate the process. And that's basically the goal with this video, is I'm going to simplify it for you guys. This is for those of you that have been trying to lose weight, you've been working out, you've been doing all these things, but you're just not making progress. If you have been working out, you have been dieting, and you've made progress up to a specific point and then hit a wall, hit a plateau, well, this video is not for you, because you need to do things a lot differently if that's your case. Because once again, we're gonna get into a calorie deficit. We're gonna eat some foods that our body really needs to eat, and then we're gonna get the ball rolling trying to get some body fat going. But then your body is always trying to stay one step ahead of you. So your body's into homeostasis. It wants to remain the same. So your body's always going to be adjusting to what you're doing. So what I'm about to tell you is something that's gonna work tremendously well, especially if you're just getting started or you've been stuck and not making progress. Maybe perhaps you've tried nutrition plans, diet plans, and you're not making any progress. Implementing this will get the ball rolling and will get some of that body fat off of you. Then eventually you will need to transition into a little bit more dialed in program, which usually there's a lot of one-on-one involved when it comes to that, because we're all unique. Almost 8 billion people in the world. So obviously we don't all work the same. We're not all wired the same. Our bodies don't handle nutrition the same. It's just a way of life. But with that said, the easiest thing you're gonna need to do is you wanna do something called carb cycling. My version, very simple. You're gonna work out 4 days per week. 4 is my recommended days. If you're one of those, you're highly active, you like to work out 5 days a week, and you can do that and remain high energy, then 5 days a week is fine. But typically, the older you get, extra day is gonna be better used as a recovery day, a rest day, compared to another resistance training day. So if you're working out with enough intensity, which is how I recommend you work out anyways, and you're doing that 4 days a week, then you're gonna wanna use carb cycling. And it's as simple as this: 3 meals and 1 snack. That's what you're going to eat 7 days a week. I want you to structure your plan that way. So 7 days, no matter what you're doing, focus on getting 3 meals. It can be breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That 1 snack needs to be a higher protein snack. It can be Greek yogurt or something like that. Here's the thing. If you're somebody that's intermittent fasting, so if you're intermittent fasting and it's just what you enjoy doing, maybe you're highly sedentary in the morning, you got a job that you go straight to work, you sit at the desk for 4 hours before lunch, then you don't really need a lot of carbohydrates that morning. Intermittent fasting is going to be fine. So if you're intermittent fasting, your first meal is going to be lunch. So you're gonna have a lunch meal, 3 or 4 hours later, have another meal, 3 or 4 hours later, have your third meal. And you can have a protein snack before bed, or somewhere in between, or what I recommend some guys do, even if you're intermittent fasting, maybe getting some kind of essential amino acids or some branched chain amino acids or something earlier in the day during your fast. You're still gonna get a lot of the fasting benefits when it comes to the lower caloric intake daily and things like that. So doing that is gonna be a great way if you really are focused on losing body fat, because again, it's not going to be easy initially. It's not complicated once you figure out the process, but the mental aspect of dieting is the hardest aspect of dieting. You can physically do it. If I give you the tools to do it, you know what to do, but you still have to implement it day in, day out to get the results. Once you get the results, once you rev up your metabolism, once you optimize your hormones, then you can start adding a little bit more flexibility to your meals. Now we're gonna structure this again. So you know your 3 meals and your 1 snack daily, 7 days a week. Now, the 4 days that you're using resistance training. So 4 days resistance training, you're lifting weights. You're doing squats or deadlifts or pull-ups, pull downs, bench presses, dumbbell bench presses, any type of resistance training where you're moving weight, then you need to feed your body some complex carbohydrates. On those 4 days, you're going to eat complex carbohydrates. I will break those down for you here in a minute, but I'm just trying to show you how simple this is. You're gonna have complex carbs on the 4 days that you're working out. The 3 days that you are not working out, you're omitting the complex carbs. You're not eating complex carbs on those days. It's that simple. 4 days you're eating them, 3 days you're not. That's gonna allow for a 7-day average caloric deficit. Plus, you're not overeating your carbohydrates, so you're not overstimulating your insulin levels. You're not gonna have to worry too much about storing body fat. That's the first thing. You know the structure, you know when to eat complex carbs, when not to eat complex carbs. Now for your other meals, all your other meals, 7 days a week, you wanna start your plate. If you're getting your meals plated, you wanna start with a lean protein. Chicken breast, it can be turkey, it can be fish, lean beef, ground beef, eggs, any good lean protein source. That's going to be the staple. When it comes to protein, it's very hard to overeat it if we're talking lean protein. Now, I'm not talking ribeye steaks. Ribeye steaks has just as much fat as protein. And same with the fattier fish like salmon. You can have salmon, but you don't want 12 ounces of salmon in one meal because of the fat content. The protein isn't gonna hurt you, it's the fat content. So if you're doing tilapia or leaner cuts of fish, it's almost impossible to overeat it. Same with lean beef. So if you're doing 93.7 beef or top sirloins for steak, something like that, lean chicken breast, lean turkey, pork tenderloins, anything like that, it's higher in protein, very low in fat. So you can eat a lot of that. Load your plate up with it. Half the plate up with that protein, you're gonna be great. You also want to, 7 days a week, add vegetables. So when I'm talking about vegetables, they are a different type of carbohydrate. They're not the complex carbs that we're about to talk about. These are more fibrous carbs. So we're talking about your broccoli, asparagus, cauliflower, zucchini. All those types of veggies are going to be free to eat, just like the protein. Protein, veggies, load your plate up. Okay, so it's that simple. And you do want to make sure you're getting some essential fats. You can cook with them. You can add, what I like to do is add a little bit of olive oil to some salad or something like that when I'm getting my vegetables, my green leafy salads. I'll add a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of some olive oil. So you can do olive oil, fish oil, coconut oil. Those are good fat sources. Olives are good to eat. Avocados are good. Egg yolks are good to eat. So there's a lot of really good, healthy, essential fats that you want to try to get, even if you're eating the fattier cuts of fish. That's great. Again, when I was talking about salmon earlier, I'm not saying omit salmon, just eat probably 4 to 6 ounces of salmon. That's gonna give you enough protein and enough essential fats. So it's pretty much that simple. That's how you're plating your meals 7 days a week. The addition of the complex carbs is on your workout days. So those 4 workout days, you can add some complex carbs to your 3 meals. So when I say 3 meals and a snack, so you already got your plate. You've got your protein, your veggies. Then you want to add rice or potatoes or quinoa or beans or fruit, multigrain bread, sprouted bread, anything like that. If you're eating those complex carbs, you still want to make sure you do it in somewhat moderation. Hard to overeat rice, whether it's brown rice, jasmine rice, just white rice. Any type of rice is hard to overeat. Same with potatoes. Hard to overeat potatoes, yams, quinoa, beans. However, when it comes to pasta, very easy to overeat pasta, so limit your pasta. That's a very dense carbohydrate. A very little bit of carbs adds a ton of calories. So if we're doing carb cycling, primary goal is trying to lose weight, I would kind of stay away from pasta. If pasta is one of those vices that you just need to be happy, maybe do it once a week and do it on a high workout day. One of your resistance training days where you're working legs or you're working back or you're doing something like that, then have that pasta meal. Don't have pasta with all 3 meals. So it's pretty much that simple. If you're somebody that, you're not a big carb eater, you're not a big eater in general. I've got a lot of my guys in my group, they struggle to get the 3 meals and a snack. And that's not a lot of food because I'm not talking about 3 large meals. But if you are somebody with a big appetite, then you can load up the plate with extra vegetables, extra lean protein, and that should be enough to satiate you as well. So this plan works regardless of your appetite, but you gotta make sure that you're doing it consistently. Do this day in, day out, week in, week out. It's very easy. The first week, maybe 2 weeks, you're establishing new habits. It may be a little new to you. However, once you do this for 14 days, you get 2 weeks into doing this, and you can do it with your family. So I've got a wife, 3 kids, so we all eat the same style, and it's very easy to implement. There's no thought process that really has to go into it. It's not complicated. So when you do this, you don't really have to weigh your food, measure your food, or do anything like that. That's for the first group of you guys. So if you remember at the beginning of the video, I talked about those of you that had started out but maybe hit a plateau. If that's you, then again, that's a topic for another video, because at that stage, you are going to need to track your food, track your calories, weigh your food, measure your food. So it gets a little bit more tedious once you hit that plateau, just to find out what's truly going on inside your body. But for everyone else, that's all you got to do, man. It's that simple. I hope this didn't sound complicated, because it's really not complicated. So that's what you need to do at the end of the day. Carb cycle, those 4 days you know what to eat. You're plating your food with the protein and veggies 7 days a week. So the only main shift that you're making is on your workout days, where you're adding the complex carbohydrate. And so I gave you a basic list. There's a lot of other foods you can eat. If you like corn, if you like things like that, if you like squash, if you like those, you can have those on those complex carbohydrate days as well. So I'm just giving you a starter list. Now you can write this down, take some notes, write a simple meal plan to follow, and then start doing this. But again, I want you to do this in conjunction with your workouts. You can lose weight if you only diet. That's a big thing out there. People ask, hey, can I lose body fat if I don't want to work out? Yes, but you can also lose muscle tissue, which is the last thing any older man needs. It's extremely difficult to build muscle tissue, fairly easy to lose body fat. Losing body fat while maintaining every little bit of muscle tissue you can is the ultimate goal. That's what all guys need, because if you maintain that muscle mass, your hormones are going to be optimized. You get that body fat off of you. That's going to make a massive difference, not only in your physical health, your physical appearance, but your mental health, which is key for a lot of older guys. So thanks so much for watching this video. As always, get busy, get after it, and God bless.